Should I stay after she cheated? Wrong question. The real question is the one nobody's asking you. Leave her. You deserve better. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Cut your losses, move on, or stay, fight for your marriage, honor your commitment. Think of the kids. Everyone around you has filed into one camp or the other, and they're all handing you their verdict like it's yours to carry. But none of them are lying next to her at night. None of them are living in the silence of a house that used to feel like home. And none of them are you, sitting with the wreckage of something you built, wondering if it's worth fighting for, and terrified that the answer might be no. Now, after decades of doing this work, here's what I know. That question, should I stay or should I go, asked too soon? Wrong question. Not because it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters enormously. But because that question isn't really what you're asking. Underneath it is something harder to say out loud. Will I be okay? That's the real question. And the stay or go decision feels safer to ask because it has a concrete answer, a direction, a plan, something to move toward. But the terror underneath it is, what if I make the wrong call and I lose everything and it's my fault? Terrified of starting over, of being the man who's 45 and alone, of losing the life you built, the house, the kids, their daily presence in your life, the identity of being a husband, and of carrying that story, my wife cheated on me, and of what people will assume that means about you, whether it's true or not. And underneath all of that, the fear that if you stay, you'll never fully trust again. And if you leave, you'll never stop wondering. So you stall. You turn the decision over and over. You wait for some sign that it's the right move, some shift in her, some sign from her that she's still in it with you, some clarity that breaks through, something that tells you which way to go. And waiting on that feels like paralysis, but it's not weakness. It's your nervous system trying to protect you from another catastrophic loss, and it's doing a poor job. Now, here's what I've seen. The relief you're looking for won't come from making that decision. It'll come from being the man who can make it without fear making the decision for him. The men who decide too soon, I've watched both outcomes. The ones who left in rage are often still carrying it. Not because leaving was wrong, but because they left from the wound instead of from wisdom. They never understood what actually broke down, so they ran from the fire, and the fire came with them. And the ones who stayed from desperation, not much better. They said yes to saving the marriage, but they didn't gain the skills to become the man who could lead it. And years later, they're still managing the resentment, still wrestling with trust, still waiting for the feeling that they chose right. The decision isn't the problem. When and from where you make it is everything. Because you cannot answer, should I stay or go, clearly from inside that level of pain. You're making a forever decision with a brain that's still on fire, a nervous system still running threat protocols, a heart that's equal parts furious and broken, and still somehow in love. Now, that's not a clear-eyed place to decide your future from. And the question that actually changes everything is this. Who do you want to become because of this? Not what she deserves, not what your friends think, not what's fair. Who do you want to be when this is over, whatever over looks like? You see, that question lands differently because it shifts the focus from what happened to you to who you're going to become because of it. from being a victim of circumstances to being the man who can handle anything that comes his way. And that shift is everything, because that's the one thing you're completely in charge of. The men who come out of betrayal stronger, the ones who rebuild something better, whether it's with her or without her, they are the men who decide early that this fire is going to forge them, not destroy them. They don't decide to stay or go first. They decide to become someone worth deciding with. They get the map, they do the work, they learn what they were never taught. How to love her in a way that lands with her, how to lead her through the darkest season of their life with clarity instead of chaos. Love is not a feeling, it's a force that takes specific skills to wield, and most men are never taught it. They love through loyalty, through provision, through showing up, and of course those things matter. But love requires fluency, the ability to speak in a language she can actually receive, to create safety when it's been shattered, to lead with steadiness when everything in you is anything but steady. Now that's not natural, that's a skill, and skills can be learned. And from that place, from this grounded, clear, fully in possession of yourself, you make the call. Not from pain, from power. That's the decision that holds. That's the man who doesn't look back 5 years from now wondering if he chose from fear or from strength. There is no wrong answer if you make the decision from strength. Stay or go, both can be right. Both can be the strongest move, but neither one is clear until you've become the man who can see it. The path forward doesn't start with her choice. Before you try to make that decision, start becoming the man who can make it clearly. So that question underneath all of it, the one you haven't said out loud yet, will I be okay? Yes. Not because of which way you decide, not because of what she does next, because of who you choose to become before you make that call. That's the strongest move. You're not done. You're just getting started, so get the skills to love fearlessly. If you want the map, apply for our marriage reboot strategy session. We'll look at exactly where things broke down and what has to shift to build something stronger than you ever had.